Well, we're talking about motorites again, and this is my 2012 Triumph Bonneville. An English motorcycle from Great Britain. Despite the name, it is a very modern bike. All the components here are pretty much up to date. There's no more kickstart. We got an electric starter. We got high beam, low beam lights, turn signals, a horn. This thing even has a neutral finder, an engine check light, and it lacks a tack, but this only on the standard one. The T100 and the SE models, I think they come with tags and two-tone paint and a badge, but the engine's the same. Of course, you get that beautiful parallel twin that was made famous on these Bonnevilles. The Bonneville had a lot of famous riders, including Marlon Brando and Steve McQueen. In fact, there's Marlon Brando's movie, The Wild One, that really put Triumph on the map when he rode a Bonneville instead of a Harley. What you get different from on this modern 2012 version of the Bonneville versus the old one is that besides all the modern instruments, you don't get a kickstart. You also shift the gear shifters on the left side, where it used to be on the right side. So you got your clutch here, your front brake, your rear brake. You got your gear shifter on the left, like I said. You got your master cylinder up here, and the headlight is a lot bigger. They tried to keep it retro with these carburetors. Well, they're not carburetors, they're fuel-injected systems enclosed inside a carburetor casing so that it sticks to the retro style. You can even adjust the idle with a choke lever here, supposedly. This is an amazing bike. I mean, their attention to detail is pretty spot on. They really try to keep it as close to the classic as they can, especially on their engine here. It still runs on a parallel twin. Of course, the vibration issues are not a problem anymore. If you know about parallel twins, especially older Triumphs, the engine doesn't it's kind of offset because they don't balance each other out like you get on the V-twin or another two-cylinder motorcycle, or an L-twin like Ducatis. This is a parallel twin, so the balance is off every time the engine revs, and that causes vibration issues. And back then, Bonnevilles would just break because they would vibrate like crazy. They said that the front wheel would dance while you're driving it, and when you're going about 100 miles an hour and you have a dancing front wheel, it's just not good. Well, enough said. I think it's about time we take this out for a ride. You should always have your proper helmet when you go out to ride. If you don't have one of these, because you think it looks funny, especially on these retro-looking bikes, just think how funny that looks when you're in the hospital.
The mirrors don't really vibrate at all, even when I rev the engine up. As you can see, it just stopped. Megaphone exhaust makes a pretty nice sound. The English call this the sit up in bed position. It's the proper way to ride a motorcycle. So many guys these days are having to like lean forward or really strain their back, especially on the new Harley Sportsters. The English, they really take ergonomics into account, I guess. That's not a bad thing to think about. The handling's pretty good, you know, even at slow speeds, it's not that bad. You know, with a much better rider than me, you could probably do some pretty amazing things on this bike.
You know, Triumph Motorcycles, after going bankrupt in the early 70s, after the Japanese bikes took over, no one thought they'd be making bikes like this today. And I gotta say, I think these British motorcycles, they might just come back. Alright, see you next time. You see this? This is the new one.